Then we have technical barriers to trade. So basically what this barrier is when goods do not abide by the regulations of another country, they cannot be exported to that particular country. This includes product labeling rules and sanitary standards. This is especially common in goods that we eat, such as, for example, food and medicine, which we consume, obviously. So a huge example that is also actually being talked about quite a lot in the media these days is chlorinated chicken, hence why this image. The thing with chlorinated chicken is that, so basically, the US chlorinates their chicken, and this, the EU does not believe that this is right to do so. They believe this is not healthy. Therefore, the EU does not allow chlorinated chicken into the country. I mean, the whole trade bloc, not just the country. But basically, now that the UK is, coming out of the EU, they're having separate trade talks with the US, and the US is heavily emphasizing the importance of them exporting chlorinated chicken into the UK. It's a huge talk. The UK believes that chlorinated chicken should not be imported. However, in these trade talks, the US is really pushing to export their chlorinated chicken into the UK. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, so that is technical barriers to trade. And then we have subsidies. This is a more indirect form. So it's like a payment to encourage domestic production by lowering the producer's costs. This can be seen in the Common Agricultural Policy in the EU or cotton subsidies for farmers in the US. It's basically just giving producers grants so their cost of production is lower. Now, in recent years, there's been quite a big deal of this between Bombardier and Boeing, where basically, I think it was Boeing, yeah, it was, the US found that the UK and Canadian government were subsidizing Bombardier, which is an airplane manufacturer. And so they were against this because they believed Bombardier could then benefit from having a very low cost of production in the international markets and therefore could export more. So subsidies can cause tension between countries, especially because they can be used for dumping or they can be seen as an unfair advantage in the international markets. Then we have import licensing, which is when governments grant importers to the license to import goods. Basically, or like, for example, this can be done in exports as well, where they say, where the government has to grant certain exporters the right to export. So, for example, right now in the news is actually a Huawei and US talk, which is about semiconductor chips. The US is going to grant semiconductor chip exporters the right to grant to China and Huawei because they believe there might be a security breach, so they will be monitoring the markets basically. And then we have the most severe form of a trade barrier, which is an embargo. This is a ban on trade, like a complete ban of a trade or other commercial activity with a particular country. Again, the US has trade embargoes on Cuba, North Korea, and Iran. So, for example, with Iran, even though Iran is one of the, it's such an oil-rich country, however, the US will not make any trade with this country, and especially has a serious oil embargo on Iran. So no Iranian oil should technically be going into the US. It's not allowed. But yeah, those are trade barriers and the qualities and the characteristics and some examples. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this video and all of our other videos. See you soon.